growing up, it was incredible. I had amazing parents. My dad was a World War II Navy officer. After Pearl Harbor, he'd gone down to the gym in Castleton, 15 miles away, and signed up, enrolled in the Navy, and born and raised in the same town I grew up in. He had a college degree from North Dakota State. And by the way, there's one jersey over here. Go Bison. Okay, all right, good job. Some of you know who the Bison. When growing up, it was incredible. I had amazing parents. My dad was a World War II Navy officer. After Pearl Harbor, he'd gone down to the gym in Castleton, 15 miles away, and signed up, enrolled in the Navy, and born and raised in the same town I grew up in. He had a college degree from North Dakota State. And by the way, there's one jersey over here. Go Bison. Okay, all right, good job. Some of you know who the Bison.
And then that sends a signal to our allies around the world, which is don't worry about the U.S. It's okay. They're pulling back. They're withdrawing. And then we let all of Western Europe get dependent on Russia for energy. And then Biden himself says, oh, I'm not sure what I would do if Putin invaded Ukraine. We green-lighted all the movement of Putin in that. We basically gave him the green light to go in. Had all of Western Europe dependent on his energy. He moves into Ukraine. I'm telling you, if we were supplying Western Europe with energy, he wouldn't even dare go into Ukraine. But then when he went in, guess what? Price of gas goes up. He makes bank on all of that for like the first 6 months. Then belatedly we go, oh, we're going to sanction Russian oil. So now we sanction Russian oil. Guess what? Their price has gone down on the world market, about 20% for their oil. Who's buying it? China. So China, who we're competing with, is getting low-cost energy. I'm pretty sure any farmer in Iowa right now would like to go fill up like 20% off diesel tomorrow, but we got a policy that's giving low-cost energy to China as opposed to getting it to the United States. And we've had out-of-work oil field workers in North Dakota at the same time the State Department was going to Venezuela. Not only that, human rights violations, they didn't even have an EPA. Like I said, nobody produces it cleaner and safer than we do. So again, I'll repeat, if you care about the environment, you want to have the energy produced here. If you care about global stability, you want to have the energy produced here. And in national security, to improve every American life. I know that because in North Dakota, when we ran, we understood something. If you want to throw bombs at the other party, the other side, run for Congress. I will never be a congressman. I'll never be a senator. They do amazing work. I love them. But I'm an operating guy. I've grown up building stuff and running stuff. And when you're in the executive branch, you have a job to serve everybody. When there's a blizzard in North Dakota, we don't ask if you're a Republican, Independent, or Democrat before we decide to plow your road. We plow the road for everybody. We do our job first. And that's what we need in the executive branch in this country right now. So in closing, I just want to say again, thank you to all of you. Grateful for everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks for stopping today. The Iowa State Fair is absolutely amazing. Catherine and I love it. She grew up, I grew up in a small town. She grew up in a big town, Jamestown, North Dakota. 15,000 people in Jamestown. And if you guys understand, I understand how high school sports are. Another thing you need to know about me is, but we built a company of 2,000 people. We had customers in 130 countries. We had team members working for us all over the world, but most of those team members came from 220 different small towns across North Dakota. And I know what small town kids can do. And they told us all along, you can't build a world-class software company in North Dakota. They also said you can't win as governor when you're down 60 points in the polls. I've been told that my entire life, but all of you know, if we give the Midwestern small town folks, if you give a level playing field, we can outperform, our farmers in America can outperform anybody in the world. Yellen and Kerry all over there, none of them were talking about how the U.S., which can be an energy, not just independent, but an energy superpower, energy dominant, how we can use that in our negotiations with China. China also imports calories every day. They don't raise enough food to feed everybody in that country. So what do we have? What do we have in Iowa? What do we have in America? We feed the world, we fuel the world. This is the powerhouse economy we have. We do not have to be in second place to China on anything. The United States, not only best country in the world, but the strongest economy. We're choking it to death with policies that actually are going in the wrong direction. And I said about the environment, if you care about the environment, you would want to have every ounce of energy produced in the United States. We produce it cleaner, safer, and smarter than anybody else in the world. Absolutely we do. And thank you. And the opportunity for things like sustainable aviation fuels coming out of Iowa, unbelievable. This has got an opportunity to increase the value of every corn acre in the state, increase the value of every soybean acre in the state. we have an opportunity as a country to really move forward with energy policy that would help us sell energy to our friends and allies, stop buying it from our enemies. People ask me, what would you do on the first day in office? It would be that. We're going to sell energy to our friends and allies, stop buying it from our adversaries and our enemies. It's just that simple. And lastly,
of the United States, Doug Burgum.
Thank you, Catherine. I just so much to be grateful for, including all of you that are here, but I do want to say Catherine is changing lives and saving lives, and it's been amazing with her courage sharing her story. But also, we're super grateful for all of you. We talk about the best of America, and we see it every day that we're in Iowa, because all of you are out here. I view the President's job as the CEO of America, and the first screening interview is the Iowa caucuses. You get to tell the rest of the nation who you think should have that job. And so you take your job very seriously, and everybody we meet is so informed, so knowledgeable about the issues that are facing this country. It's been a real joy to be here. But a little bit of background on me, when I grew up in a town like many of you probably did, Arthur, North Dakota, 300 people. It's a small little agricultural community, and it was fantastic growing up there.
Good afternoon. We wake up every day to be grateful, being grateful to be in this race, and we're super grateful to be with you today. So before 2016, Doug had spent his entire career in the private sector. He knows how to compete and win in the global economy. And about 7 years ago, he came home and said, I'm thinking about getting into the governor's race. And I had this deer in headlights look on my face saying, I'm not sure about that. And he said, well, okay, here's the situation. It's only 5 months until the primary. Our opponent is a sitting attorney general. He's been in that job for 15 years. His family has 100 years of name recognition. They've been in politics practically since statehood. And there's one more thing. He's ahead by 60 points in the polls. But we'll give it our best shot.
Each candidate will get 20 minutes. They can use that time however they want. They can talk for 5 minutes or they can talk for 20. It's all up to them. We at the Register believe in the power of civil discourse, and we ask you to uphold the best traditions of Iowa nice.
Closest big town we are.
All right. Isn't that what they all say in North Dakota? Your biggest town, Fargo?
Yes, absolutely. That's the reference point.
We got a rock on base. I used to have a rock. Any more?
I don't think I saw her earlier.
I think that guy's going to